Some more from Mindspace. Social science bites, technology. This is all they've gotten into the education system. It's all about their political social science. You can look it up. They don't hide any of this. They don't. This is just it's who they. This is who they are. So here's the problem in regards to free speech. We don't have it on any platform. And the biggest thing people like this, because they're think tankers, it's why I'm not a grouper. I keep saying it's why I'm not a grouper. Because I want to think on my own. I want to do my own research. I want to think on my own. I don't need some college elite who's got 25 letters after their name telling me what they really think they know, but they've only learned it from a damn think tank, okay? And they have no wisdom. This is all manipulative tactics. And the media, the Congress, the House, the left, the right do it. The science does it. And there was a time that each of these, at least in America, these industries were separate for the most part. Now they've been infiltrated with all of this stuff. The education system, they don't care about education anymore. It's about their political policy behavior change of people. To get you into the minimalistic 15-minute cities, to get you on board with it. It's to brainwash you. It's the same thing as brainwashing. But they will create whatever crises they have to get an agenda they want passed. So for a long time, they've been creating shootings, triggering people. And I'm not saying that makes those people that do that innocent. I'm just saying they trigger people. And then something happens, and it's like, oh, that's going to work for them because they want to take people's guns. Okay? The other thing they like to do is that they do this in big professions like nursing, which is why I can't stand the unions or the associations, because they're all pushing this manipulative mind control stuff. They are. They pull you in just like a predator would. They pull you in with, we're going to help you. We have your best interest. We know best. And then slowly over time, you come to trust those unions or associations, and then you find out, no, they've just been manipulating you all along to serve the agenda that they want to take everybody into. You see most of your podcasters, whether it's the Young Turks, as I mentioned, or your Joe Rogans. Joe Rogan pushes in this direction. He's been, talking about how we should have universal health care, or here's how we could do it without... it's these slow ways. They're being more careful about it now because people have caught on to it. More people have caught on to it. But it's still doing the same thing. Anybody that has as much followers as Joe Rogan has them for a reason. Does. Just saying. So if you listen to them, you will pick up on what they're doing. You will. And it'll almost always go back to these agendas, which is about the one world, the one government. They'll never say it that way, but that's what it's about. And the problem with this is the fact that these are such scumbag kind of people that they're fine. They're just manipulators, and they're good manipulators. I think for most people, or I don't know, most people, it's not your first thought to just manipulate people, but there's a lot of people that live that way, that just manipulate people day in and day out. And there's a ton of podcasters that do it. This whole thing with TikTok, okay? This is a way to say, okay, we'll let you have your free speech, but we have to have control over it. We're going to do the Restrict Act. Look, I learned my lesson with the Patriot Act. After 9/11, that was a terrifying event. It was a perfect event to then bring in an act that would take a bunch of freedoms and allow them to then spy on American citizens, which is what our government did. But at the time when everybody was fighting about that, I was on the opposite side saying, well, if we have to, I said this, and I regret it, but I learned. I said, if I have to give up a little freedom for some safety, that's okay, because I trusted the government, never thinking they were behind those events. But they are. The scumbags behind these events are the ones that are out of control. They have no self-control because they want to control everyone else, because they think people like you and I can't maintain control. That's really what it goes back. That's what the heart of it is. But it's more than that, too. It's wanting, to experiment and in every way, experiment with, what they can get you to do. I mean, you look at all of the COVID restrictions, the masks, the double masks, the how people were willing to go get a shot just so they could travel. Like that told those people, what that did was it told those people they will do, in order to travel, they will give in to tyranny. Yeah. That's what it told them. In order to keep their job, they'll take a medical treatment they don't want. Those were all things where they were watching to see what the people would do. And the America I was raised in believing in was not that it did not show, we were not that America. We went along with it all. We all did. But they used that was used deliberately. I mean, that's why they had the simulation like 3 months before all of a sudden we were locked down. This is what they do. This is where they have always played the games. And with the transgender community, you have a whole bunch of podcasters that are allowed to have all the free speech they want. They do. They have TikTok lets any of them up to, they do, but so does Twitter. So does every platform. Because most of the platforms are controlled by those same people that are on board with that agenda. And that goes for even Congress. Because is Congress addressing the true threat about this mind manipulation? No, they want to say that TikTok is doing it. No, it's not. Do you mean to tell me that Congress can't go on any of these think tank sites and see what they're doing and see that that's truly the problem? This has nothing to do. Yes, there's people on here, on TikTok and every site that are influencing children, that are influencing people to believe something. But if you want to get to the root of the problem, Congress and House, which I don't think they do, then you go to the think tanks, which is your universities and this global agenda. They won't address that. Instead, they go after TikTok. And it's ideal for them because then they can say, well, we'll let you have your TikTok, but we're going to bring in the Restrict Act, which will just make it to where you have no privacy at all. We barely have any as it is now, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it matters because then it's control of your internet. It's just control. They want constant control of everyone. So that's why I don't trust any of them. Do I put some stuff up like clips on I do, like yesterday of Ted Cruz. It doesn't mean I support him, but what he's saying is true. But they're just looking at, making TikTok this enemy is really, if you want to say the Chinese Communist Party, because I've heard Joshua Phillips and Epoch Times say this in the past, how the Chinese Communist Party, they use your own freedoms against you, then that's why you don't ban TikTok. Because if that is true, by banning TikTok, it's our government that then is infringing upon our rights. So that's why you don't do it. Epoch Times, of course, would disagree. But then again, I don't think Epoch Times is in the business of just really thinking about America as free, but is more the military-industrial agenda. And just my opinion. This is all manipulative, and this is what Congress and the House should be focusing on.